Okay, Professor Rao, welcome to the DesuckifyWork Podcast.
Thank you for having me, my friend. I think last time we had some conversation and it was a kind of a trailer. Now we are having the interview on soft leadership. So I'm grateful to you for giving me this wonderful opportunity.
Oh, of course, I'm happy to do it. I'm quite intrigued by the concept of soft leadership. And before we explore it, I just want to give you a minute to just introduce yourself to everyone who may not know who you are.
Okay. Let me introduce myself. My name is Professor M.S. I have authored 53 books, including the award-winning book titled See the Light in You, for which the Nobel laureate, His Holiness Dalai Lama, has it in a foreword. I have 43 years of diversified experience, including Indian Air Force, business, teaching, and training. And I'm a late bloomer, dyslexic, ADHD, OCD. Add to that, the brain stroke worsened my health in the year 2021. And I have mental challenges, physical challenges, and financial challenges. And I still belong to a lower middle class family. And I was born into a toxic family and grew up in a toxic environment. So I don't have two-wheeler, I don't have four-wheeler. I have lots of challenges. But despite all the challenges, I rose from the ashes like a phoenix. So this is briefly about my introduction. And apart from that, I'm very curious and creative by nature. And I'm an author and also a researcher. And I create a couple of frameworks, then rules, then again, perspectives. Now, a week ago, I started creating my own philosophy. So like this, I keep doing things despite health challenges, despite various challenges, but still I keep doing because I'm passionate about adding value and making a difference in the lives of others.
I love that. And I love that despite some of those challenges, you're not simply pushing through, you are living in that creation mode. You know, you talked about 50 something books and you're constantly putting out new stuff and you're constantly seeking ways to make the world a better place. And I feel like this concept of soft leadership is a big part of that. And I'd love to give you a moment to just define it for people. What is soft leadership?
It's a great question and it's quite relevant. And I earned my PhD in soft skills in the year 2011. Then after getting my PhD, then I started exploring soft leadership. I blended soft skills with leadership and coined a new leadership perspective, that is soft leadership. And why I had this thought was that I think in the year 2010, I was conducting MDP programs, management development programs, and I was teaching for EMBA students and MBA students. Then students and learners and other people, they were asking me, sir, we have a couple of leadership styles. Now we have autocratic, democratic, laissez-faire, then servant leadership, like that. So many leadership styles are there. I don't think those styles won't work out. Why don't you try something new? Because you are a very creative writer and other. Then I thought, yes, the trigger has flashed on my mind, and I have the habit of writing down the things. I don't. For me, a short pencil is better than a long memory. So I make notes regularly, and I created some couple of triggers and kept in my documents, and so like that, you know, I keep writing down notes, and then I have taken up the topic of soft leadership. This is the origin of this soft leadership. Then again, what happened? I earned my PhD because 2010 I had the idea of exploring soft leadership. Then I blended soft skills because that's my doctoral thesis. Then and leadership is very close to my heart because I'm an Indian Air Force veteran. So what I did, I integrated soft skills with leadership and created a new leadership perspective that is soft leadership. This is the origin. Then subsequently, what happened? I wrote a couple of, I published around 10 books on soft skills and soft leadership. Then I kept writing about soft leadership, and one of the books titled "Soft Leadership: A New Direction in Leadership" is the book I published, and that book is very unique in my life. Why? Because I have dedicated this book to Peter Drucker, who is known as the father of modern management. That's one aspect. Second aspect is that Philip Kotler, who is known as the father of modern marketing, has written a foreword for this book too. Third, Dave Ulrich, who is known as the father of modern HR, has created a leadership code for my soft leadership. Then fourth aspect is that I am known as the father of soft leadership globally. So because of these aspects, I got more association with this soft leadership. Then I started exploring and started doing, and I published around 300 research papers. I'm not talking about articles. I published around 300 research papers I published, then and more than 1,000 articles I published in various magazines across the world. So then I started, still I am exploring, and then I started doing the thing. Then again, what happened? The soft leadership, let me briefly explain. The soft leadership is all about the people skills without compromising the task orientation. That's one thing. This soft leadership helps countries achieve peace and prosperity. And this soft leadership helps companies achieve excellence and effectiveness. This soft leadership helps all generations, whether they are baby boomers, Gen X, Gen Y, Gen Z. So this is applicable for all generations. Now, I am doing a lot of research on artificial intelligence and technology. So I am trying to integrate soft skills, soft leadership with these various areas. So still, I am trying to integrate soft leadership with technology, artificial intelligence, then again, brain science, psychology, decision making, employee engagement, all these things I am still doing research, and I want to create something unique, and I want to create something unique and impact the world. So this is what I'm doing, and still much is in the store because I keep doing things in that manner. So I created a couple of frameworks, and I created some methods. Then again, various things. Then again, this soft leadership has 11 C's. That's a framework in the sense, like some of them are character, charisma, conscience, consideration, courage. So all these things I integrated. So this is the journey with soft leadership.
Okay. How did you come up with those 11 C's? Where was that?
Yeah.
Does that come from your research?
Yeah, I said, after my PhD, that 2011, I started very aggressive about soft leadership. Then I created 11 C's. Then I published research papers, and my first book was about soft leadership. Right. Okay. Then again, soft leadership for peace. Then again, soft leadership for leadership. Then again, one more book titled "Soft Leadership to Create Generational Compatibility," which is yet to be published. So still the research is going on, and it's going on. It's a life. My way of research is it's a lifetime process. I keep doing research because I wake up morning 4 o'clock, night 10 o'clock, I sleep. Throughout the day, I keep learning and growing. So I'm doing research in various aspects. Sometimes I talk about this philosophy. 1 week back, an idea flashed on my mind to create my own philosophy. Then again, I created Mecca's method, that is about teaching. Then again, I created a framework that is 11 C's. Then I started 4 a.m. rule, that is to wake up in the morning 4 o'clock, So like that, so many things I am doing. I'm basically curious because of that. I'm doing whatever I feel comfortable. I do it.
So I have a question about the term soft leadership.
Yeah.
When I hear that,
Yeah.
I can imagine some people might think, well, that sounds too soft. Sounds like it could be weak or submissive or
Yeah, correct.
how. You mentioned the notion that it allows you to bring in the soft skills, but also maintain a task orientation. So how does it allow leaders to really be smart in how they connect to the people around them while also holding everybody and allowing people to hold themselves accountable for the work they do?
Yeah, it's a great question. And many people think soft leadership means people are soft. No, they appear to be soft, but again, they are task oriented. For instance, Mahatma Gandhi was a soft leader. But again, he emphasized on India's independence, and finally we got independence. So we focus on soft leadership, but without compromising our goals and objectives. That's one thing. So if you look at some of the leaders like George Washington, right? He also falls in the category of soft leadership. Very long back, but he was very persistent and he never gave up. He was very persistent, George Washington, right? But he was also a soft leader. So some of the leaders like Nelson Mandela, he was jailed for, I think, 27 or 28 years. But he remained stoic and he was in the jail for many years. He struggled and suffered. But finally, he abolished that there is a discrimination in what that called South Africa. Then finally, all are equals, right? So our objective is to achieve the ends, right? How you achieve your ends? That means through peaceful and amicable process. That's what. So it's not exactly that we are very soft. That's different. People say that soft skills means they are very soft. It's not in that way. Soft skills are all about personality, attitude, and behavior, right? So this soft leadership looks to be very soft, but in fact it's not soft, but it's task orientation. But in a right way, it's like a win-win situation. I would like to say in that way. That means we have to get the desired outcomes. We don't want any aggressive nation. We don't want to be aggressive. We don't want to be submissive, as you said rightly. And I think your question is very relevant and apt in the context. So we don't want aggressive. We don't want submissive. We want assertive leaders. That means we want soft leaders.
Yeah. It's interesting because as I hear you and you gave those examples, I think it helps me picture it, because somebody like Mahatma Gandhi or Nelson Mandela, they are both
Martin Luther King. Martin Luther King. Sorry,
another great
there
example.
are so many leaders. Yeah.
These are people who, I think, when I think of soft leadership in their context, it's more that they are deeply human. And there's a deep sense of empathy.
Yes.
But they're all standing on a really powerful foundation of self-belief and belief in what their missions were. And there's a strength that is there in parallel with that empathy that I think for some folks it may feel hard to embody both of those things, to be both empathetic and really strong and have a sense of conviction about what you believe in.
Out of that 11 C's, one more C, that conviction is there. One conviction, one consideration, then courage, conscience, then charisma, character. So like that 11 C's are there. So what you said is about conviction. If you look at this, I forgot to tell you about Martin Luther King. I admire him a lot. And he fought against that discrimination in American society. Then he fought. Then again, Of course, he was assassinated, but he stood by his rules. He stood by his principles. He stood by his values. So I can say that he was also a soft leader.
Why do we need soft leadership so much right now?
Yeah, very much required. See, we don't want let me put the soft leadership is not that it's not like subordinate. It's not about superiors. The soft leadership means they're just like partners towards achieving the goals. It means we don't want either because earlier we talked about bossism, then superiors and subordinates. Now that the world has changed, especially in view of technology and other aspects, we are looking for partnership, not leadership. I can say in that way. So, what was the second question you asked? Second question you asked.
Why? I've seen you talk about how important soft leadership is for the world we live in right now and the world that we're entering. What makes it so important, and what can it help us accomplish?
Yeah, we are achieving the goals, whether it's for organizations or for the countries. So we are emphasizing to achieve the goals and objectives through the right means, through peaceful manner, and in a win-win situation, and it also helps resolving any conflicts. So likewise, so it helps in many ways. And again, there is a difference between. I think you are talking about the difference between soft leadership and hard leadership. See, there are some people that are hard leaders, like Jack Welch. He was a hard leader. He was a task oriented, right? But there are some leaders. They are autocratic, and there are leaders who are democratic. It all depends upon their influence and how they want to lead, right? And the world has evolved. Previously, we talked about too much about some leaders like Jack Welch. He was an autocratic leader. Now people say like I shouldn't comment about Donald Trump. So he's a hard leader. Yeah. That's what I believe. I can't say that he's a soft leader. If you look at again Joe Biden, he's a soft leader. In the sense, it's okay. But again, so every leader is unique. Everyone leads in their own way. Yeah. But ultimately, we have to achieve the goals and objectives. That is very important. You got my. I hope I have made my point very clear. See, whether Joe Biden or Donald Trump or Barack Obama or whatever it is, the objective of any leadership is to ensure that a peaceful and democratic process. So how you adopt, it depends upon the character of the leader. For example, Donald Trump is a task-oriented, right? That we can't help. That's his nature. That's his way of leading, right? So we can't judge in that way, but ultimately we have to get the results. That's what I emphasize.
Yeah. You mentioned intergenerational relationships and how soft leadership can help the older and younger generations work together better. How does it help with that?
It's a very big challenge, especially among the people, especially with millennials. Millennials means millennials. I would like to say in this manner. I would like to explain in this manner. Baby boomers means the people who are older generation, and most of them are not tech savvy. They have challenges. And then again, Gen X means they know the technology, but still they are able, somehow they are managing. Then again, Gen Y means millennials. They are very smart and brilliant. Then again, Gen Z, we call them as millennials, centennials, we call them. Generation Z are known as centennials, and Generation Y are known as millennials, right? So coping up with all generations is a very big challenge. Yeah. And that's the reason why I wrote one more book, Soft Leadership to achieve generational compatibility. That book is yet to be published. Okay, that's a different aspect. So this is a very big challenge, especially because there is a gap between one generation to another generation, and most of the young people they don't follow the rules of the game. But again, the advantage with young people is that they're very smart and brilliant. They are tech savvy, they are digital savvy, and they are adapted to technology. Whereas these older generations, like baby boomers, they have challenges to adapt with the technology. And there is a gap between all these generations.
Yeah.
And what we have to do is empathy is the key. As you are talking directly or indirectly, we have to empathize whether they are of any generation. When you are when you are empathetic, then I think you can resolve the problems and you can lead. You can lead leaders effectively. So we have to empathize, irrespective of the generation.
Yeah, I think that's a challenge. I think a lot of us
Yeah. It is easier said than done. Yeah. Sorry,
I think
it is easier said than done.
We're very quick to judge.
Other
generations.
I agree
versus,
with you. Yeah.
I'm sorry. Be empathetic. So if I'm a leader right now and I'm curious about soft leadership, how can I make it a part of my leadership approach today? How do I start to incorporate it? Yeah.
How to incorporate this leadership? I think some of the elements which I have already spoken, that is empathy is key. When you look at from others' perspective, I think some of the problems will be solved. So we have to be very empathized with the people, and you should have compassion, and you should lead certain values and principles. When you do so, you will be able to lead very effectively. So these are all the elements which are mixed. That means empathy, then striving for equality, then again cooperating with people, getting along with all people. So as you said, it's easier said than done, but it takes time. So what is required is we need to have a right attitude. When you have the right attitude, we'll try to see things from others' perspective. That's one thing. Second thing is that attitude is the main thing. The second thing is empathy. That means ability to put into the abilities to step into the shoes of others, and then again looking at the things. So when we do so, I think we'll be able to strive to excel as great leaders. And apart from that, we need to stick to certain core values and principles. When we do so, we can lead from the front. So leadership is not an easy thing. Many people talk many things, but unless you practice, you won't know it, right? Yeah. So this is about leadership. And we share so many things through books. We share so many things from magazines and journals. Unless you practice, unless you face the challenges, then you can't lead. So most of the leaders, they grow out of challenges. They learn and grow. That means they learn, unlearn, and relearn, and they keep going. It's a kind of trial and error method we have to adopt. So there is no quick fix formula about leadership.
Yeah. How can you bring what you just talked about, the empathy and the compassion and trying to help everybody get along, and also the other side of it, the task orientation? How do you help people stay focused on the tasks? For a lot of people, it may seem difficult to do that unless they're hard. How does the soft leadership style work when you're trying to get people to accomplish the tasks that they need to do towards those big goals that they have?
See, you have to walk your talk. That's very simple. this is the core of any leadership, whether it's a soft leadership or hard leadership, whatever it is. You have to walk your talk, and you have to lead from the front, and you have to be an example for others. So these are all the aspects which are involved in leadership, and I'm both a scholar and a researcher. I'm a scholar. Why? Because I publish research papers and various international journals. That's one thing. Then I'm also a practitioner because I served in the Indian Air Force for 12 years. So I have the advantage of migrating from one area to another area, unlike others, because most of the leaders either they lead, or some people they only write. Those who are scholars, they only write. And others, what they do, they lead by example, and they learn by trial and error method. So I'm blessed with a diverse experience. That's a military because where I served. So I had my own challenges in the Indian Air Force, but I learned from my mistakes, and this is how we have to lead. So the takeaway is that there is nothing like a fixed approach of leadership. There are different approaches to leadership, different strokes for different people, right? And you need to manage the emotions. You have to manage the egos of the people. So when you do so, you'll be able to lead. So leadership is not easy, and books only help you to read, understand, but you can only lead effectively when you practically involve into the leadership process, whether it's a soft leadership or any kind of leadership.
Yeah, I like the idea that you're as a leader, you need to sort of walk the walk, as you said. It's like you need to lead by example, and that feels like the distinction in many ways. It's like hard leadership is often do what I say. Right? You do it, whether I do it or not. Soft leadership is do what I do, right? Watch me, and I think that's what makes those big names that you mentioned, like Gandhi and Martin Luther King. What's so inspirational is they moved people in massive ways, not by saying do this. They stood out there, put themselves in the front,
leading from the front,
and
leading from the front.
They led by example, by being who they wanted everyone else to be, and that feels like the key to all of this.
See, if when you look at this totalitarian regimes, they also lead, but by force they do it. Like if you look at some of the countries like China, they are task-oriented. So they have to follow in a hard way, right? Like not South Korea, I think, North Korea, I think, that one. So some countries are task-oriented, and we have to follow. But whereas we are into a democratic world where we are having freedom and opportunities, and we can think through, and we can criticize the people, and we can appreciate the diversified opinions. All those things are involved. So when we want to lead, we are talking from the perspective of democratic perspective, right? I'm not talking from the perspective of this what that called this countries like
authoritarian,
China, totalitarian regimes. They have their own principles, but we believe in this democracy because democracy trumps. That's what my slogan. Whether we win the elections or whether we lose the elections, but we are superior because we are democratic, right? Democracy trumps at that day, because we love the leaders. Sometimes we criticize the leaders. But ultimately, the people's mandate has to be respected, because we are living in a democratic world. Abraham Lincoln said, democracy is for the people, by the people, of the people, right? what he said is right. So we follow those principles, and we are happy, and we are happily living in most of the countries in the world because of the democracy. So we must encourage democracy. We must encourage leadership, and I personally encourage soft leadership.
I like that. The last question I just want to ask, I appreciate all of the information and the insight you're bringing, and I want to give people a chance to explore more, because I know there's so much more that you have to offer. Your 50-something books, your YouTube videos, so many research papers. How can people find you online so that they can go deeper into this topic?
It's very easy. My books are available on Amazon.
Okay.
And I'm very much active on LinkedIn.
Okay, great.
And all that you have to do is you Google my name as Professor M.S. Rao, right?
Okay.
Then you will get everything. Then you will also get soft leadership. When you Google soft leadership, then it comes to, on the first page, and you will find my research. I have done a lot of research on soft leadership, and my books, articles, everything are there on Google. Just Google soft leadership, then automatically you will know who am I, and you will know that I am known as the father of soft leadership. My books, everything is available. This is one-liner. I mean, 2 words you must remember: soft leadership. You will get all my books, research, and everything. Apart from the Amazon links and this link and all those things, you will get it.
Great. I will provide links to stuff as well in the show notes. But I just wanted to say thank you again, Professor Rao. This has been a wonderful conversation.
Please give me an opportunity. I'm very much excited with this topic, because you have provoked me to think. Usually, I just I already frame and I speak from my subconscious mind, and I'm grateful to you that you have provoked me.
Oh, cool.
When you provoke, what happens? You are challenging me. When you challenge me, I'll speak the best.
Awesome.
Right? So I'm very positive. I'm very positive by nature, and I thank you for giving me this opportunity, and also thank you for provoking me. Since you have provoked, then I started speaking everything spontaneously and naturally. I feel very happy and excited, and credit goes to DJ, my best friend. You're really my good friend.
I appreciate that, and I appreciate that we have formed this friendship, and I look forward to continuing it, and I look forward to sharing what you're doing with the world.
Yeah,
awesome.
So nice of you. Thank you.
Thank you.
With gratitude, my friend.
You too. Thank you. Bye-bye.